Now, so today, ma'am has confirmed to talk about Michael Chekhov, right?
Yeah.
So he's another master and important film, the acting school in particularly theater, because he's connected with Chekhov also in some way or other, and his techniques are also being discussed all over the places. So it's up to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about all the confusion. um, so today we will.
I would request the student also, if they wanted to switch on their videos, they can switch on their videos so that we can see some faces also. Because it will be useful for you to be having a eye contact with the teacher who is conducting the class. So I would request all of you who can do it, kindly do it. Otherwise, fine. As a teacher, we can teach computer, we can teach walls. We have practice of teaching all kind of people.
So today I thought we will begin with Michael Chekhov, and if we have time, we can maybe go on to Meyerhold,
Yeah.
because they both are Stanislavski's students, and then they moved on to start their own respective streams of acting. I noticed that there have been some questions about Michael Chekhov
Sure.
in some of the papers.
Yeah.
And I'm quite surprised, because if you know Michael Chekhov, and if you've understood the principles of Michael Chekhov, then you are above FTI, I would say. Because Michael Chekhov, though he is very different from Stanislavski, but he also has a whole system, a whole method, and it is very different from Stanislavski. आप में से कितने लोग आस्था में विश्वास करते हैं?
I think the whole India do it.
You see, because Michael Chekhov is a matter of faith to a large extent, just as Stanislavski is a matter of intellect.
आस्था means ma'am क्या श्रद्धा?
Well, the ability to believe, I would say, faith. Not in a religious sense. No, not in that sense. But when we come to his system, you will realize that he talks of a practice which is, somewhere in between the spirit and the body, not so much the mind. So the expectations are very different, but we will come to that by and by. And initially, I thought I will deal only with the psychological gesture, because everybody is very curious about this. What is this psychological gesture? But I realized that I cannot talk of it in isolation. It wouldn't make much sense if I did. So I will try and go over his process. His process is addressed to actors, and actors in practice, as they are practiced. So he is leading them to the various steps up to a certain point. And although his method, many people find very mysterious, very mythical, but he constantly keeps saying how you have to keep touching back to the text, And he even talks of simple things like how actors should make notes, take notes. So he tries to again and again say that the practical and the creative, you have to keep finding a balance between the two. So so we will start.
Yeah.
Now, Michael Chekhov, you know, his search is, before I start on Michael Chekhov, just a little bit, search is to go beyond naturalism into the area of archetypes. Now, you understand archetypes?
Ma'am, please repeat again.
आर्किटाइप, जिसको हम आर्किटाइप कहते हैं. आर्किटाइप हम कहते हैं जो बिहेवियर की या लोगों की पीपल बिहेवियर, इनके कुछ ऐसे स्वरूप या ऐसे मॉडल्स हैं from ancient. It could be people, it could be behavior, it could be personalities. And they are like archaic forms of innate human behavior and knowledge, which make form a part of our collective unconsciousness. You know, Carl Jung has divided. You see Carl Jung's influence on Michael Chekhov. The ego, which is your conscious self, the unconscious, and the collective unconscious. So the archetype belongs to the.
मैम आपकी वॉइस बहुत ना लो आ रही है मतलब.
Yes, ma'am, it's a request.
Okay. Okay, we'll try. As I told you, my throat knows when the class is about to begin.
Relaxation, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. So these are part of the collective unconscious, which means we all inherit something of humanity's past, ancient past, जिसमें बहुत सारे behaviors, patterns और knowledge है, और वो हमारे भीतर होती है. Archetypes are from where we derive our patterns. So the archetype would be, in a way, much bigger, much solid, longer life than the realistic, than the real, than the naturalistic. उससे ये बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा होगा. तो character को सिर्फ not to see the character just in the naturalistic or in the realistic context, but to discover in the character the archetype. And most of the examples that Jung gives are also from Shakespeare. Matlab, he does give some, like he uses, but you see very large plays that he refers to: Cherry Orchard, Shakespeare, Inspector General. He talks of the larger plays quite often, except he does talk of the death of a salesman also. So it is the search of something bigger than the naturalistic. And that is why he wants to take the actor out of the naturalistic framework of acting methodology, which is what one could say is the Stanislavski method, which is based on very clear principles, where you engage in going step by step. But here it is a different approach. Now, Michael Chekhov was born in 1891 and he lived up to 1955. So he was with Stanislavski. He is everybody is curious. He is related to Anton Chekhov. He is his nephew. And his wife was related to, first wife was related to Chekhov's wife. So he is from the Chekhov family. And he was with Stanislavski, and he was, Stanislavski was very fond of him, a great admirer also of his talents and skills. But Michael Chekhov also refers to this later indirectly in his work. And that is why he keeps talking of the balance between the practical and the creative self. It's because he had a lot of difficulty with the emotion memory. And well, I mean, I do not know, but it is generally assumed that he had a kind of a breakdown because of the extensive use of that method. But I will not go so much into that, because he continued working with Stanislavski till about in the 1920s. And when Stalin took over around 1927, Michael Chekhov, because he had a slightly different inclination than just the realistic, was a bit insecure in Russia. So he came to Germany and he started practicing in Germany, and he worked for some time in Europe, in different countries of Europe. And he developed his method during this time, including the psychological gesture. So then he worked in England for 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 36 to 39, I think he worked in England. And then he moved to the United States. जब ये war का माहौल जब बन रहा था, तब यूरोप छोड़ा, England आया, and then he moved to America. And then he worked in America. He also did in some films. He was also nominated for some of the Academy Awards once or twice, I think. But at that time, some of the other students of Stanislavski were in America, and they were working with Lee Strasberg and so on. So their method gained more prominence rather than Michael Chekhov's method. But Michael Chekhov's method was always of great interest to certain actors. Of course, some prominent actors also, like Gregory Peck and Marilyn Monroe. They also followed his method. But apart from that, at least in teaching and so on, he has had, and learning, and in theater, he has had a kind of a following which has been growing over the years. And there has been again and again a lot of interest in his work. In 1953, he published his first book, To the Actor. It's called To the Actor. And as I said, it is meant for a practicing actor. It is addressed to an actor in practice. A lot of the principles that he talks about are to would-be comprehensible to an actor in practice. And it is like he is taking the actor from like class 1 to class 2, class 3, class 4 through sessions. It is like as if he is taking an actor through this session. So now what his technique is all about is, he says that the actor physicalizes a character's needs as an internal dynamic force in the form of an external gesture. कि मतलब आप एक कैरेक्टर को समझकर उसको इंटरनलाइज करने के बाद उसको एक एक्सटर्नल जेस्चर के रूप में प्रस्तुत करने की आपकी ये पूरी जर्नी होती है. So this outward gesture can then be even suppressed if it has been internalized enough, and even then you can try and communicate. So where we talk of emotional memory, mental analysis, he basically talks about a physical memory, the memory of the body, and how a lot of his method revolves around this. So first and foremost, for an actor to be open to this concept that there would be a way of working which emerges, as I said, and as he quotes Leonardo da Vinci also, that it is something between the body and that the spirit dwells in the body. Because if there is no body, then the spirit can neither act nor feel. So there is a relationship between the spirit and the body. The spirit, we can say soul, or your inner being, or your creative being, and the body. Now without the body, the creative cannot express. But again, why I'm saying again and again, he is bypassing the mind. He's talking of the spirit and he's talking of the body. So he's not talking of it having to come via the mind and via the thought. So that is a very major shift in his work, and which is where probably some difficulty lies in accessing him. But once you overcome that, you will find, if you can go along with Michael Chekhov, he is fairly, it's fine. But if you have certain reservations about the basics, then there is a problem all throughout. So, but we will go very slow. And that is why I thought we'll do Michael Chekhov today, because you need time to absorb what he is trying to say. Now, what he says is, the problem with that an actor grapples with is that he has wonderful thoughts and emotions chained in an undeveloped body, which is too solid flesh. So he says that the body energy is not doesn't absorb enough easily to bring out the creative ideas or the thoughts or the imagination that an actor may possess. Therefore, he begins with the body, and he wants to gradually, like Stanislavski, he also doesn't talk of breaking down the resistance of the body, but to gradually work through that resistance and make it sensitive to the psychological impulses. Again, he doesn't say mental, he says psychological impulses of the character that may be necessary, and the body should be flexible. It's like blotting paper that can absorb. So should be able to absorb the psychological impulses of the character. That kind of quality, gradually the actor must begin. So then, and he says that instead of just thinking on the given circumstances, which he does say are important, but he says that you go beyond the materialistic into the realm of imagination. Now, why we will also look at Meyerhold very briefly tomorrow is because Meyerhold is the opposite. He steeps his philosophy and method of acting in materialism, in the truth of materialism, not materialism as bhautikvad, not as consumerism. So he bases it there. And this person, Michael Chekhov, he is talking of taking it beyond the materialistic into the realm of imagination. And again, before he starts, he advises the actor, like Stanislavski and like we did the other day, that to get the psychological impulse of the character, what you must have is an awareness of the richness of psychology. And to have the awareness of the richness of psychology, again, important to read, important to connect, not just with people, but also with different periods of history, literature, their thought processes, their value systems, and so on, so that you can again have a rich knowledge base from which you can draw. That is very essential for an actor, to have this broad knowledge base from which you may unconsciously draw from. Because if you don't have that, and again Michael Chekhov says again and again, how many times are you going to repeat yourself? The purpose of art is to break new horizons, give us some fresh revelations. But if you're just going to repeat yourself, then it will be stale again and again will be stale. He says that the body has to be open to the psychology, to the psychological impulse, and both this impulse and the body has to be obedient. He uses the word obedient to the actor. So you see, the actor should be able to draw upon these resources. It shouldn't be that he wants to do something but cannot do because of resistance from either of these two sources. So
मैम, आपने बोला कि जो obedient एक word use किया, एक अलग सा टर्म्स यूज किया, तो आप इसको और अच्छे से डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हैं कि मतलब कि वो एक स्पिरिट और जो बॉडी का साइकोलॉजी है वो मतलब क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं, वो मेरे को थोड़ा क्लियर नहीं लग रहा है.
जो साइकोलॉजिकल इंपल्स कैरेक्टर से मिल रहा है उसको बॉडी अब्सॉर्ब कर सके, और जैसा एक्टर उसको इस्तेमाल में लाना चाह रहा है वैसा ये दोनों उसके लिए कर सके, इंपल्स भी और बॉडी. दे शुड बी एबल टू meet the needs or the dreams of the actor, what the actor wants to do or trying to.
Okay ma'am, thank you ma'am.
हाँ, कई बार ना एक्टर कहते हैं हाँ मैं पर बन नहीं पा रहा है, तो ऐसा ना हो, वो दोनों कर सकें जो वो चाह रहा है करना. ये है उसका मोटा मोटा. So for this, now he developed a series of exercises. There are about 15-16 of those exercises, and I will run them with you because इन्हीं के ऊपर उसने फिर बाद में characterization और psychological gesture को base किया. Now, since he talks of archetypes, his very first exercise is to be wide, to be broad, and to expand yourself and feel your presence in the space around you. जिससे कि आपका जो साइज है वो enhance हो. And in this, you slowly then try to expand as much as you can. So his first exercise is basically of expansion and contraction. So you feel the expansion and you feel the contraction in every part of your body, in every muscle of your body. When you are contracting, then it is right from the toe to the knee to the spine, and then you expand also. It is right up to your fingertips, right up to your crown here, that you can feel the expansion. So the first exercise is expansion, contraction, and stretching yourself and using as much space as you can. जितना आप space occupy कर सकते हैं. Then he develops series of smaller exercises like lifting, like hitting, like dragging, pushing, pulling, and different kinds of actions, but they are all to be done in a manner that is large and big and occupying space. So, and the idea is so that you have a certain freedom and a sensation of an increase in life. मतलब जैसे हमारी लाइफ इतनी है, जितनी जगह हम ऑक्युपाई कर रहे हैं, तो जब हम एक्सपैंड करते हैं तो हमारा उतना वो बढ़ जाता है. So when we stretch into space, then we expand into that space. इसके जो followers हैं, इन्होंने इनको और डेवलप करा है. Like when you stretch, then you are stretching into time, or you are stretching into various other elements. So a lot of work has been done by the teachers who follow Michael Chekhov in developing these exercises. If any of you are from the Northeast, Kanhaiya Lal's, some of the exercises that Kanhaiya Lal uses are very close to what this is being talked about, because he also uses this hitting the hammer and all those as the first exercises.
Ma'am, can I disturb you? Is it because of the physical exercises which Kanhaiya Lal uses in his plays and things like that? A lot of physical things happen. Is it because of that? Movement of the birds and other things, because a lot of things.
Also because of the connection that he develops with those movements with the spirit of the body. Let me put it that way. Okay. It is not just empty movement, but that you believe that I am stretching into time when I am stretching, or I am stretching into space, or as I will come later, I am charging this space.
Correct.
I am giving energy to this space. So I am radiating energy. Now these are the words. So when you use these words in your practice.
In cinema, I'll just add one word, because it is a very difficult thing to understand for us when we were students. There was a topic called dynamization of space and time. So the
Yes.
term you are using here is a charging. They use the term called dynamization.
Well, we also use the term kinosphere.
Yeah.
I am not using it because Michael Chekhov has not used it. But now we say you are carrying your kinosphere with you. And your kinosphere should be as charged as you are. So then you are generating energy on stage if you are. But he has not used that word anywhere. So he talks of this. And then he says, in the second exercise, you do the same thing, but this time the center of your movement is in your chest. It is not in your shoulder.
Ma'am, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
बोलो.
मैम, एक एक्टर की जिंदगी में जो फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज होती है वो क्या डिफरेंस क्रिएट करती हैं? क्या आप कुछ उदाहरण दे सकते हैं, एग्जांपल्स?
बेटा मैं आपको वही बता रही हूँ.
थोड़ा स्पेसिफिक करोगे अपना क्वेश्चन, क्या पूछना चाह रहे हो?
मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि जो माइकल चेखोव की जो एक्सरसाइज है वो किसी एक्टर की जिंदगी में क्या डिफरेंस क्रिएट करेंगी?
वो उसको एक बेहतर एक्टर बनाएंगी.
क्या आप कुछ उदाहरण दे सकती हैं मैम?
अभी थोड़ा क्लास पूरा होने दो, फिर हम लोग थोड़ा बात करते हैं इस बारे में. ठीक है?
माइकल चेखोव खुद एक्टर थे और ऑस्कर के लिए नॉमिनेट भी हुए थे और उनके ट्रेन किए हुए कुछ एक्टर भी नॉमिनेट हो चुके हैं और हॉलीवुड में एक्टिंग करते रहे थे. तो
Michael Chekhov himself was nominated for Oscar.
Yeah. I'm forgetting the name of the film.
No problem, we'll find it out.
Now the second exercise is that you imagine all your movements are flowing through your chest. Chest means the heart center and not from where they actually are, the shoulder or the joints. They will come from there, but they are flowing from here. So now why he is saying this? जब हम आगे बात करेंगे कैरेक्टराइजेशन की तो वो और बात खुलेगी. But now you do the same movements, but your center is here, and according to him, all your impulses flow from the heart, not from the mind. They flow from the heart. Therefore, the second round, you do the same exercises, and you are having your impulse from the chest, and you have the sensation of both strength and harmony and your unity of your actions. तो आपके actions में एक harmony भी है, पर एक strength भी है. He always says that you need to have strength in your actions, but not tension. So tenseness and strength and tension नहीं रखने का मतलब ये नहीं कि your movement become totally limp and weak. So now this is what the actors gather. Now the third exercise is that this imaginary center, which is in your chest, now this imaginary center is going to lead you into space. अभी तो आप खड़े होके कर रहे थे, अब आप स्पेस में मूव करेंगे. स्पेस में मूव करेंगे तो ये इमेजिनरी सेंटर एक तरह से को आप फॉलो कर रहे हैं और आप जा रहे हैं और फिर टर्न कर रहे हैं या जो भी कर रहे हैं. तो इसके कुछ गेम्स भी हैं. That you plan to turn right, but you surprise yourself by turning left, and so on. So there are little games also that are made, but the imaginary center leads you through the space. So now you are charged, in a way you are charging the space. So you have to carry the energy that you have generated with you, and now the energy should be able to charge the space as well. So real life energy and the acting energy are not one and the same. They are different. Or you can say that the acting energy is enhanced energy. Then, now that you are going into space, the next exercise is that you mold the space around you. You know, there is air around you, and as you are going, you mold it and you are creating shapes, and you imagine that you are leaving forms behind you. You are creating forms and leaving them behind you. So, which means that whether you are moving, but whether it is with your arm or with your shoulder, you are creating, जैसे आप मिट्टी में शेप बनाते हैं, वैसे आप एयर में शेप बना रहे हैं. So with that, he has 4 of these. The first one is molding. You are molding the space around you, giving it shape, and you should give it such a form that even when you have moved out of that space, that form still remains. मतलब वो नजर आए, रियल नहीं है, लेकिन आपके उससे उसका ऐसा एहसास बने कि वो दर्शक को दिखे उस तरह से, दर्शक को भी और वैसे भी. And then you can make this shape with shoulder leading, you can make it with the elbow leading, you can make it with hands, fingers, with different parts of your body. You can create different forms. And now, आप जिस भी चीज को टच करें, वो चीज भी आपकी एनर्जी से स्ट्रेंथ पा सके. इतनी मतलब आपके भीतर उस तरह की एनर्जी बन जानी चाहिए. And you should, your wrist, your hand, and your fingers, you should be able to even use them separately. है ना, कि आपने कभी फिंगर यूज करा, कभी रिस्ट से किया, मतलब रिस्ट कर रहे हैं तो फिंगर भी हिलेगी, वो जरूरी नहीं. तो इतना धीरे धीरे कमांड you have to try and gain into it. Then you imagine as if this space, ये उसी के और details हैं. You imagine the space around you as water. And in this water, what you are doing is you are creating waves of energy. You know, like it is water and you are moving through water and you are creating shapes, you're creating waves in water. So that, and you observe the sensations that you get in your body. When you imagine this is water, what kind of sensations it is giving you to the whole of your body. Naturally, when you put in so much, तो आपको भी उस एक्सरसाइज में, अब ये एक्सरसाइज सिर्फ खाली फिजिकल नहीं है. I would like to say that these are also highly imaginative exercises. So what you're doing is you are synchronizing your imagination and your physical action. And when you do this, so what you're going to receive is also going to be a very enhanced sensation of whatever the experience is. You know, your जिसको बोलते हैं कि आपके पोर में आपको एक सनसनी सी हो सकती है when you do this kind of exercise.
Is it? Can we call it as a रोंगटे खड़े हो जाना? या
I mean, sometimes you can feel it, and you can feel in the class itself. You can feel when there are 10 students doing this exercise. You feel that whole energy in that space which is quite
Different now what it used to be earlier.
yeah, it was matlab, the space getting different than it was before the exercise began. We can sense that. So, like you had molding, and then you had floating, then you have flying. So now you fly through the space. So when you fly through the space, it has to be with the feeling of lightness. So you do it not with the feeling of just heavy strength, but with the feeling of lightness. And when you do this, you will find that you become joyful by doing this flying exercise with lightness, that it creates a kind of joyfulness. And then the sixth exercise is
Ma'am, can I ask you something? Is it he got this idea of this lightness through the ballet, because Russian ballets are very important, and is it something he got inspiration from there?
well, he could have. Why not? It is quite possible because he constantly talks about the importance of light energy. He says even if you have to play negative roles or whatever, it is important to have a certain lightness to your performance, because he says that gives you a certain aesthetics, and he keeps referring again and again to the aesthetics of performance. You see, this is the time when Europe, even Europe, Russia, getting very much divided between the formalist approach to performance and to the dialectical approach to performance, to which we will come when we talk about Brecht. But Michael Chekhov definitely belongs to the more, who believes in form. The sixth exercise is radiating. And the radiating is that you are doing most of these, but you are also radiating the space around you, which we today would say radiating your kinesphere, is what we keep telling our actors ki jitne aap hain usse matlab utna idhar aage piche, and you radiate. So the radiation and the radiating exercise is such. Again, this I'm referring to Kanhaiya Lal again, because he also has a similar exercise. Now, the radiating exercise is such that you carry the radiation before and even after your action. I stand and then I sit. But even after I sit, people feel I am sitting. The action होने के बाद भी कुछ पल तक लगता है कि अभी एक्शन हो रहा है, क्योंकि जो आप जगह क्रॉस करके आए हैं वो अभी तक आपकी एनर्जी से रेडिएट हो रही है. So the action extends longer than the duration that you actually do it for. Similarly,
is it a kind of after effect, or is it a kind of trailing?
It's a kind of a trailing thing that goes, and it is also a thing of sensation, because even before you do the action, you imagine the doing of the action. When I imagine doing of the action, my body gets prepared, and the sensation of the beginning of the action begins even before I have started doing the action. So before and after, this radiating effect continues.
So is it like a kind of a signal that a train is coming? When we were kids, we were very curious. A train is not coming. So we have the red light, and then when we see a yellow light, so we feel very happy. Now the train will come.
Yes, and the excitement starts building.
Yeah, the excitement starts. Now the train will come.
Yeah.
Train will come.
So that is the impulse of getting into the train.
Yeah.
At you start getting the impulse before starting the
Action.
yes. So
Ma'am, this radiating exercise, could you just put it in 2 lines for us some better understanding? Like 2 lines, like it will simplify it.
matlab it is that you imagine that you, wherever you are, that you have so much energy within you that you are able to charge the space around you. And when you move through the space, you are also able to carry that charge with you, and that space keeps getting charged. And when you do any action, even after that action, it's like that plane that goes, और उसका वो white एक trail पीछे रह जाता है. So very often we come to know after the plane has gone. But there is something about it that tells you that the plane went from here. Sometimes it's a sound. So this is to be the nature of the energy. That even after you have completed the action, the space that you have left is still vibrating, and we feel that you are sitting, still sitting. Kanhaiya Lal ji used to make the students, you have to go till there, but before you go, you first imagine that you are going. After you imagined, and then you do the action. And then after you've done the action, you sort of keep your connection with the space through which you have traveled. Now that was his way of dealing with this. So I think there would be variations of the basic exercise. Now, a lot of these qualities that you are learning to handle are generated by your imagination. You are imagining, and your imagination is able to get the body to achieve it. है ना? तो वो एक synchronization हो रहा है उसका. And he says that this will give you 4 things: ease, form, beauty, and entirety. These are the 4 qualities that it will bring to your performance. So he says that in theater, what you do is as important as how you do it. And that is where you will need that expressiveness. He says, again, a controversial statement: ugliness expressed by unaesthetic means irritates the nerves of the audience. The effect is more physiological rather than psychological. Now, this is something that many practitioners may disagree with, and he says that people may disagree with it, but this is his thing, that even if you have to show ugliness, then the impact should not be such that it irritates the nerves of the audience. So you have to figure out an aesthetic way of doing it, and he feels that light energy makes it more aesthetic than heavy energy. Then he says, in the observe the beauty. This is his 8th exercise. So observe something that is beautiful. You find something beautiful, observe it and ask yourself, why do you find it beautiful? What are the qualities in this thing that are making it beautiful? And then, whether it is the sincerity, whether it is the harmony, whether it is the gentleness, what is it that makes that person or that thing or that space beautiful? And so it is an entirety that makes it beautiful. So understand that. And then when you do your movement, you try to get it in the entirety of your movement. So it is the ability ability to get the details as if viewing it from an elevation. So you can so you observe your actions and your movement as if you are viewing from above, from what we call a bird's eye view. Similarly, when you're doing a role, you should be able to observe from an elevation. So what he talks of is that वो जो super objective था Stanislavski में, we said that these small objectives get connected and you achieve the super objective. But he says no, you should have the super objective with you right from the beginning, so that you can do a performance which is uncluttered and which is carrying the super objective right through. So if you were watching your performance from an elevation, then you could see, like you can see when you're flying, you can see a whole river running its course. So you're not just seeing the water of the river at one place, but you're seeing the whole course of the river. So similarly, you should be able to see your role going in its entirety. And so when you're playing, you keep the entirety in mind. You don't play it in bits. That is what he means by entirety. Both that the entirety of beauty, but also the entirety of the total design of your performance should also have it. So, so then if you have performing in entirety, then you stress the essentials of character and you follow the main line of events. And this is what holds firmly your attention, because you see, if you keep the main objective and you are following that, your performance is uncluttered. Because your performance is uncluttered, what happens is that there are fewer things that you have to focus on. When you have fewer things you have to focus on, you can give them better attention. So it's a neater performance in some ways. And also, I think, easier for the audience to follow where your performance is leading up to. Now, there's another exercise that he talks of, and this is one part of it is, of course, observation, that you observe people and all that. The second part of the exercise is that you observe yourself. And what you do is, wherever you are working, you divide it into two parts. You draw a line maybe, you divide it into two parts. One part is stage and one part is off stage. So now you're carrying yourself from the non-stage to the stage. And then from the stage, off stage. So what you are understanding is the appearance and disappearance on stage. So appearance and disappearance uh, of the moment of your performance. And you see, what you will sense is the difference in your energy. Your energy when you are here, and then you cross the line and you come into your zone of performance, and you appear in that. And then from there, you have to disappear into again the zone of non-performance. And it makes you assess the difference between being in performance and being in the zone of performance, in the zone of non-performance, and within the zone of performance, the appearing and the disappearing. The appearing is really like lighting up. The disappearing is really like getting dissolved. And some actors get, the disappearing part, but we have to learn how to disappear. And I really think this is marvelous, because you cannot keep living with your performance. You have to know how to leave it also. For a full actor, for a professional actor, the giving up of the part is also very, very important, because you can't lug it around all around you. So now, when you radiate, you also touch others with your radiation, and you are also touched by their radiation, so you also receive. So the receiving of radiation and touching by radiation, which means your energy coming into contact with the energy of a co-actor or another person, or even the audience. When you are performing, you know when your performance is reaching and when your performance is not reaching. I mean, it is quite tangible. So now, so then now I hope this much is quite simple and
It's simple, but since if they have not read it, if they have not heard about it, it might be little.
yes, it takes time to absorb. That is why
But I think this is very important, because they get a little, momentum that, okay, these are the so many zones in which an actor need to think about it, and to imbibe them into the performance and integrate them into their performance, and what to integrate, what not to integrate. So it's a quite interesting and enthralling for it, at least for me. So what we'll do is, now it's 7 o'clock, so we'll break for 10 minutes.
Oh, it's already 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's okay. That is the best thing, because the time has gone like anything and we are absorbed into it. So it's a good sign, I would say. And say 7:15 we would meet up, because by the time they will absorb things.
Yes, but I hope I am able to.
No, it's really making sense for me, because I could connect them with certain.
This is different from our normal. What would I say?
Kind of very materialistic,
Yeah, because we're talking of.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're performing for a camera or something, the performance, as you're performing, you're also performing in your head, and the result that you see on the camera is way different that you anticipated while you were performing.
Yeah.
So when that link, but if I'm able to convey it, from what you're doing to what first you perform and then you analyze yourself, it's way too disconnected. And can you talk about that a little bit? I'm only talking solely about the body aspect. For example, you are able to convey from your mind, but you're not able to convey from your body.
Yeah, that is, see, your body has to be receptive. That is what he says right in the beginning, that both the impulse and the body should be obedient to the actor. That you have to reach that level of mastery over your body and your impulse, that whenever you expect a certain task from them, they are able to do it for you. Rather than उस टाइम आपकी बॉडी में टेंशन है या आपकी मसल्स वो उस तरह नहीं बिहेव कर पा रहे जैसा आप चाहते हैं, तो वहाँ वो रेजिस्टेंस, कॉन्शियस या अनकॉन्शियस रेजिस्टेंस जो है वो ना हो. सो उसके लिए ये तैयारी काफी जरूरी है कि वी शुड बी एबल टू handle the way you want it to be done.
So fine, I think you think over it, Rohan, and you try to write down your own answer. Then probably you will figure it out more. So we'll break for 10-12 minutes. So 7:15 we'll meet up again. Okay, guys? 7:15. Right now is 7:03. So we'll meet up at 7:15. Okay? Thank you very much.
Oh.
Okay.
So guys, are you back now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we had, ma'am, finished almost couple of exercises which Chekhov have advised or devised, and something more specific or anything which you want to elaborate now?
Well, there's lots. We just about started in a way.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's continue now.
if you want me to skip, then it is a different.
No, don't skip. Continue. Time is not a problem. Even if these people get one thing properly, that is more important rather than how many things. That is not important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he has gone step by step.
Yeah.
And I have इनका और Meisner का मुझे almost step by step process.
That's very interesting because that is what we need, you know.
So I have, sort of also maintained that rather than just talking of one thing, but how he is taking the actor step by step.
It's very interesting and very productive. So yeah, don't skip anything.
Okay.
But Stella Adler also has like something of this line.
More slowly.
Hers is different. Hers is really different. But
Not like what she said was like you can fool the mind, but you cannot fool the body.
Yes.
You should remember how you pick up the bottle and which all muscles that you're using. So I can see some different, like some similarities.
I'm coming to
One more
that.
thing,
I'm coming.
yes, ma'am. Sure.
वो इसमें भी है और इसकी वेरिएशन में भी है माइक्रोसोफ्ट. So now this we did was working on the body and imagining through the body and the body in space. Then he is given he has worked out a process of handling the imagination. So he says, well, you access your creative imagination, and then how he has given a way. The way he gives is just close your eyes and let it flow. Pehle immediate happenings will come to your mind. Then something from your childhood, this, that will come. Let it all pass, let it all pass. And then you will find that you are receiving images which are disconnected to you, impersonalized images. Now, when those start coming, you just concentrate on those, focus on those, and observe them. First stage, no, Chekhov is very clear about one thing. Go bit by bit, he keeps saying again and again. So when you observe, don't rush into the exercise. Just observe. Let them come. Observe what they do, where they pass, how they go. Whatever happens, let it happen. Then he says, if you have a difficulty or not even that, then what you do, you pick up anything at random. Pick up a book. Look at a word and let that word create an image and you follow that image. Again, first stage, follow, observe, look, see उसको कैसे बनती है, dissolve होती है, उसकी क्या life रहती है. Second stage, collaborate with the image. Maybe ask the image, maybe talk to the image, like writers do. You know, writers expect their characters. Sometimes even playwrights say, no, I had thought of this thing for my character, and suddenly my character took a twist. And what could I do? So, मैं डूब गया. And then I followed my character. So, they are also imagining. They are also so in the world of images. So, similarly, actor is also with the images. So, second stage, you collaborate. You ask questions, you find out more, you discover more. Third stage, you can drop hints and see the images taking shape like that. So you deal with so you make your imagination richer and you develop a habit of accessing your creative imagination. Now these are exercises.
Ma'am, can you kindly, sorry to disturb you, can you kindly please repeat the third stage? Sorry.
The third stage is when you can suggest. First is observe, second is collaborate, ask, inquire, and third maybe you can suggest. So you can activating your imagination.
Thank you.
Then what you do at the same time, you imagine a movement and then you do that movement. And then you reflect whether you did it as you imagined. Now, this is a very interesting exercise because the more you imagine before doing, the more the relationship between your imagination and your doing is strengthened. So first you imagine simple movements, simple actions. You see yourself doing it. Second stage, you do it. And third stage, you reflect. Then what you do is you start making your movements or your actions more complex. अगर पहले में 1 यूनिट था तो दूसरी बार 3 यूनिट, 4 यूनिट, 5 यूनिट. So can you imagine 5 units and can you do them exactly all 5 units? Can you execute? Are you able to execute? So imagining, remembering, storing and doing. Now when you imagine, what happens is इसका रिवर्स भी ट्रू है और करने कि आप किसी चीज को जब इमेजिन करते हैं एक्शन को तो आपकी वो मसल्स एक्टिवेट होती है उस एक्शन को करने से पहले so that action also becomes easier. That is one thing. You know, before you jump, sometimes you say, okay, and you look there at that place where you have to jump and you prepare. What is happening is that you have activated your muscles. या जो आपने ट्रेन वाला बताया कि ट्रेन के आने से पहले ही तैयारी हो गई ट्रेन में चढ़ने की, so you have activated.
We were really curious. My half of the time I will go there and see train is not coming. Again, I'll ask my mom, Why there is a signal and train is not coming? I said, Ken, you were very excited in that.
So this is the activity before its activity really starts. So you've already started the activity. And then the reverse is you do an action. The second time, you don't do the action, but you imagine doing the action. So again, you will find the same sensation of doing the action in your mouth. हाथ ऊपर करना है, पहली बार किया, दूसरी बार किया नहीं, इमेजिन किया, लेकिन सेंसेशन मेरे हाथ और इसमें आ गई, है ना? सो थप्पड़ मारना, शेक हैंड करना, किसी को उठाना, you don't actually shake hands, but you and your partner receive the sensation of shaking the hand. So you create the, ऐसा लगता है पर होता नहीं, like that. So anyway, this is activating the connection between the imagination and the body. And then what you do is, now this is, so the stages are follow its independent life, then collaborate, then penetrate into the image, and then make your imagination more flexible, and then imagine the action, activate your body, then do the action. Now, the very interesting is that he suggests in the next step of growth is improvisation, but very interesting. He is not wanting you to improvise stories. I mean, in the sense, the improvisation should not lead to story building. So what he says is, you fix the beginning of your improvisation and you fix the end of your improvisation. Supposing in the beginning, you are going to be reading a book. And at the end of the improvisation, you are under the table. Okay. Now you fix these two. अब इसके बीच में क्या होगा? That is what you are improvising. So what you are doing is, you are building sequences of actions, or you are building some kind of connections, which could be psychological, which will lead up to under the table. So you have the beginning and the end, but the middle is where the actor is improvising. So this is an actor's improvisation. Why? Because the actor has to learn to find spaces between what the director says and between what the playwright has written. है ना? अब उसी के बीच में आपको जगह ढूंढनी है. तो beginning और end है, और बीच में अब आप क्या कर सकते हो, वो आप करके देखो, और एक बार नहीं कई बार करो, and each time try different things. Then he says, to make it more difficult, fix one more thing in between. First, I'm reading something. Last, I'm under the table. Middle mein, I'm sitting on the table. Okay. So now I fixed 3 points in my improvisation, and the rest is what I can figure out and I can improvise. So I'm finding my space through these points. Then next time I can fix 4 points, 5 points. And then even in that, I find space for myself. So this is how an actor can set up the improvisation for his or her own practice. Then when you are ready, you could do it in a group. And this is very interesting. He says, before you start the improvisation, the group does a contact exercise where you open yourself to each other so that you develop a silent understanding of contact, of reaching out, of developing certain kind of impulses. And then you do your improvisation in a group. Again, you can have a fixed opening, fixed ending, and then in between, You can improvise, and what happens is that how somebody's action becomes an impulse for your action. So this is opening yourself to new possibilities. उसने ऐसे किया, उससे आपका एक रिएक्शन बना. तो ग्रुप वर्क या ensemble वर्क के लिए आप इस तरह से कर सकते हैं. And you use minimum words, few words, and sometimes you can get one person to play the director and sets up an exercise for the rest of the group, and then you could do it. And now, in the silent opening up is very interesting because actors make roadways, they make paths to each other, and they discover how to understand the energy of the co-actor, how the co-actor is radiating and I am receiving. That also I learned to understand. And you don't have to discuss, you don't have to talk, but you receive and you assimilate and you know it. It becomes a kind of a knowledge of the group. Then like this, you can create different atmospheres. So you can, this I will not elaborate much, but you know, the atmosphere of a scene from any play is set in a particular atmosphere. Now, if that atmosphere was to change, what would happen to the scene? What would happen to everything else being same, but the atmosphere has changed? Then again, how the actor is going to receive that atmosphere. So you are not pretending that the atmosphere is there. The atmosphere is there. So he believes that the stage must create an atmosphere. Again, this would be a point of difference from Brecht, because Brecht does not believe that this kind of atmosphere should be there. He believes in a different kind of performance style. So, so again he says, don't be impatient to perform the atmosphere. And don't also force yourself to feel the atmosphere. It will happen. By and by, slowly, slowly, it will happen. But you have to take time, you have to give it time. Now he comes to another exercise, which is very interesting. And you see, most of his exercises, when he says you have to take it in, begins with the hand, begins with the tips of the finger, and then you receive it and take it in. So he says, well, you begin by lifting your hand. Now this is where he is now moving slowly from imagination, physical action, into the area of emotion. So he says, well, you lift your arm and then you lift it down. This is something you can do. It is easy, it is simple, you've just done it. Now you do the same thing and give it a certain quality. Maybe you are lifting it with caution. You lift it with caution and you put it back with caution. अब आपने सिंपल किया, हाथ किया, पर उसमें आपने कहा मैं कॉशियसली अपना हाथ किया. लेकिन जब आपने कॉशियसली किया तो आपके हाथ में एक फीलिंग आई, आपके इस एक्शन में एक अंदाज आ गया. So you are on the way to imbibing this. So first time you do it with your hand, arm, and then you maybe extend it to your shoulder, and maybe gradually you extend it to the whole of your body. So gradually you are allowing this feeling or this quality to permeate inside. Over a period of time, it gets inside you and it gets into your muscles. So he says, sensation is the key. The sensation of caution that it has given is the key which draws it to itself feelings and emotions, which are akin or close to the quality chosen. मतलब आप फीलिंग थोप नहीं रहे हैं, आप इस एक्शन को एक अंदाज से कर रहे हैं जिससे एक फीलिंग जो कि सिमिलर है उससे वो पैदा हो रही. So this is and then once you are comfortable with this feeling, you can stand, sit, walk cautiously, sit, stand, and observe, and then add a line to it, or just speak a few words, and observe and reflect as to how that is affected by the nature of what you are doing and by this feeling of caution that you began with. So now this is what then this exercise is how he builds into the psychological gesture. So how is that the qualities and sensations generate feelings and movements that you can find a gesture that embodies this feeling completely. It gives you a power, a certain direction, and it animates a definite desire depending on the strength of the movement. So now this is an exercise, but you can apply this exercise in the context of a character. And whatever quality that you find of the character that you feel embodies the character or is a core quality, you can start receiving that quality from maybe your fingertips, from your arm, from your body. Let it permeate to the whole of the body and let it give you sensations, let it develop certain feelings, and allow your body to absorb and to change shape in relation to that feeling. So what you achieve is a kind of a condensed quality of that character embodied in your body. That feeling is embodied in your body. It gives you a certain power. It gives you a certain direction. It gives you a definite desire. But this movement or this bringing in of that energy has to have a certain strength.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
All these things are there, and there are so many schools of actings are there in terms of thought process. So how basically would actor decide that which school he should follow? And since there are so many, I would not say parameters or commandments or something, how an actor would be able to pick up something from time and again?
I think an actor knows what works for him or her. You sort of sense that if I follow this, this would take me where I want to go. This is too difficult for me. This is too abstract. But yeah, this is what I might be. Or this mysterious thing of letting the energy come from my hand. I find it exciting. So maybe I will try and maybe it will work for me. So I think what excites them what interests them,
Correct.
what gives a certain
Aura or
makes your body come alive and say, well, yes, that I might be fun to do, or that might be worth doing. Now, if we do screen sharing, I will just should I share some of the
yeah, you can
that,
because I have made you as a co-host. I think I've made you as a co-host, so you can share the screen.
okay, Kabir, एक मिनट आ जाओ, वो sketches जरा. So these are some 7 sketches that are there in Michael Chekhov's own text, and he as kind of examples of what he calls psychological. They're actually postures, but he uses the term gesture for it. So we will go by that term only as what he calls the psychological gesture. Now this is one. And I will just tell you a little bit what qualities he is attributing to them. And now this is what he has called a definite desire for despotic conduct. And you can see that the qualities fill and permeate each muscle, and they permeate, and he has within this character are the feelings of hatred and disgust towards the world in general. Kaun sa wala? Okay. So this is one. Then drawing 2. This is a character who is maybe a kind of beseeching a lot of power from above, but is very much rooted on the ground, and he has very overpowering mystical qualities, but very dominant, and very dominant, but very overpowering qualities also in this character. Then this is the opposite. This is a character who is neither connected to the above, to the sky, nor connected to the ground. The head is in between and is totally inverted, despondent, maybe but maybe in some difficulty, despondency, but not reaching out or asking for help, and is isolated and perhaps very much wrapped in loneliness. Then this character he describes as being coarse, lusty, with a mistrust for the world. There is suspicion, and there is something crooked about the character, something which is not straight, and there is also an aggressiveness in this character. So this is how he describes this character, and you can see that the fists लगभग सब इसके में भी clenched हैं. अगर हम इसके पीछे देखें, इसके खुले हैं, but he is so he is supporting himself, and that is why he says perhaps he's not reaching out of his loneliness. वो अपने loneliness में एक दुनिया बना ली है उसने, है ना? अब इसके भी ये जो हाथ हैं खुले हैं, but they are not gently opened. There is you can see that they are not gently opened, and इसके भी हाथ खुले हैं, fist clenched नहीं है, but the hands are pointing downwards, so to say. So
Ma'am, this one reminds me of This reminds me of Daniel Day-Lewis' ka last scene. I'm the third revelation in There Will Be Blood.
In, sorry.
Ma'am, this image, like,
आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है, आप जो बोल रहे हैं आवाज नहीं आ रहा आपका.
If you look at
vividly
it,
reminds where Daniel Day-Lewis.
it's a very, it's, you know, the head is somewhere, the shoulder, that shoulder, the face, the waistline. I mean, पैर कहाँ को जा रहे हैं, हाथ कहाँ को जा रहा है, सिर कहाँ को जा रहा है. तो एक वो तो है, एक convolutedness इसमें है. तुम क्या कह रहे हो कि कौन से प्ले का सीन लगता है?
Ma'am, played There Will Be Blood. उसका एक last का scene है where Daniel Day-Lewis is in similar kind of posture and he's screaming, I am the third revelation.
Okay.
He has a spring in his back with.
Okay. Is it these kinds of feelings or those are different?
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है, आप लिख के चैट ग्रुप में डाल सकते हैं तो हम पढ़ सकते हैं अगर आपके पास कुछ कंसाइज और प्रिसाइज थॉट है, क्योंकि आवाज आपका नहीं आ रहा है जो भी बोल रहे हैं, आप क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं.
Okay, then this he describes as a character of negative will, suffering, but anger, and though there is anger, there is also a certain weakness in the character. I think the weakness is coming more from the position of the spine. I would say desperation, because this posture has a certain desire to be strong, definitely, though because इसकी जो एड़ी है वो जमीन पे नहीं लग रही है, तो उसका ग्राउंडिंग नहीं है. So that strength is not there fully in the entire holding of the posture. पर यहाँ एक attempt है to be strong, which is different from the next drawing, which is of a weak character, as he says. Him he calls is a weak character, full of self-pity, unable to protest, and complaining character, as he calls him. And there is one more. Now this is a character who is maybe gentler or more harmonious, but is also trying to is also introverted inside, is not reaching out.
Ma'am, introvert means
Huh?
What does introvert mean?
Introverted, I said, not introvert. I said उसकी जो energies हैं वो भीतर की तरफ को हैं, वो बाहर की तरफ इतनी नहीं है.
अंतर्मुखी जिसको बोलते हैं ना आप हिंदी में, अंतर्मुखी.
हाँ, but this character is more grounded. You can see the feet are on the ground. So these
मैम आप पिछला वाला तस्वीर दिखा सकते हैं प्लीज, पिछली वाली इमेज.
हाँ.
मैम मैं पूछ रहा हूँ आप इसे जज कैसे कर रहे हो?
मैं नहीं जज कर रही, मैं वो पढ़ रही हूँ जो उसने इनको डिस्क्राइब किया है. हाँ, उसने ये कुछ साइकोलॉजिकल जेस्चर जो वो कह रहा है उसके स्केचेस अपने उसमें रखे हैं और उनको अपनी तरफ से उसने कहा है कि ये इस तरह की मनोवृत्ति को झलकाते हैं. मतलब इस तरह की मनोवृत्ति शरीर में.
मैम अगर मैं समझना चाहूँ तो आप मुझे समझा सकते हैं, जैसे कि ये हाथ किस तरह से है, क्या एक नॉर्मल इंसान किस तरह से समझ सकता है इसको?
ये नॉर्मल इंसान जो है इसको देखकर आप बताइए आपको क्या लग रहा है. अगर एक व्यक्ति के
मैम
हाथ में है, उसके एल्बोज बाहर को निकले हुए हैं, पेट अंदर को जा रहा है, स्पाइन थोड़ी मुड़ी है, एड़ी उठी हुई है, तो आप बताइए आपको इसमें क्या लगता है?
एक दुबला गरीब व्यक्ति,
हाँ, सही कह रहे हैं आप। यही उसने कहा है कि एक असहाय व्यक्ति जिसमें विद्रोह करने की क्षमता नहीं है और जो शिकायत करता है और जो अपने ऊपर तरस खाता है, यही क्वालिटीज उसने बताई हैं।
क्या मैं एक क्वेश्चन और ऐड कर रहा हूँ? सपोज कीजिए अगर इसने अपने हाथ मोड़े हुए होते तो क्या मतलब और हो जाता?
हाँ, इसका मतलब कुछ और हो जाता। और ये वो कहता भी है कि जब आप एक साइकोलॉजिकल जेस्चर बना रहे हैं तो उसको थोड़ी देर होल्ड करिए और फिर उसमें कुछ कुछ परिवर्तन करिए, और कुछ कुछ परिवर्तन करने से आपके मनोस्थिति में क्या फर्क आते हैं उनको भी रिफ्लेक्ट करिए। हैं, अगर आप अपने एल्बो चौड़े कर लेंगे या घुटने और मोड़ लेंगे या हाथ कस लेंगे तो उससे आपके जो भी मनोस्थिति आपने अभी बताई उसमें क्या फर्क आएगा, वो जब आप करेंगे वैसा तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ऐसा करने से ये फर्क आ रहा है। फिर आप सोच सकते हैं कि आपको अपने कैरेक्टर के लिए ये चाहिए कि वो चाहिए। अगर वो उस कैरेक्टर के ज्यादा करीब लग रहा है तो आप इसको बदल सकते हैं। वो माइकल चेकोव बार बार कहते हैं कि आप साइकोलॉजिकल जेस्चर एक बनाइए और उसको फिर थोड़ा घुमाइए फिराइए और उसमें कुछ चेंजेस होते हैं, और अगर वो आपको उस कैरेक्टर के ज्यादा करीब लगते हैं तो इसको बदल दीजिए। ये नहीं है, ये पत्थर की मूर्ति नहीं है, ये एक एक्टर अपनी बॉडी से निकाल रहा है, तो आप इसको चेंज भी कर सकते हैं इफ यू हैव इनफ सब्सटेंस फॉर चेंजिंग, क्योंकि यहाँ तक पहुंचने में भी एक्टर को वक्त लगेगा। ये एक दिन में एक्टर नहीं निकाल पाएगा। पहले दिन तो शायद वो हाथ में ही वो असहायपन ला पाएगा, फिर दूसरे दिन शैतान में, फिर इसमें, फिर वो उनको जोड़ेगा। उसको काफी वक्त लग जाएगा इस साइकोलॉजिकल जेस्चर तक पहुंचने में।
मैम मैं एक बात और कह रहा हूँ, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर इसी व्यक्ति ने अगर अपने हाथ मोड़े हुए होते, जैसे कि मुट्ठी बनाई होती, तो हम इसे ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं जैसे कि विद्रोही व्यक्ति है।
कैसा व्यक्ति है?
विद्रोही।
विद्रोही।
हाँ हाँ, ये देखिए, ये वाला आपको लगता है विद्रोही?
मैम मुझे ये एक स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन लग रहा है, और अगर आप इस बात का मजाक ना उड़ाए तो मैं एक बात और कहना चाह रहा हूँ।
हाँ,
ये मुझे लग रहा है जिसके महाभारत में भीष्म पितामह ने प्रतिज्ञा ली थी ना, उसी पोज में ली थी।
अच्छा, हाँ, ये स्ट्रॉन्ग हो सकता है। इसमें गुस्सा है और इसमें बहुत यातना सही है, वो सह रहा है और सही है, वो भी दिख रहा है। लेकिन इसकी जो इधर जो है ना टांगों की और जो स्पाइन का अंदर की तरफ जाना है, उसमें उतनी मजबूती नहीं दिख रही। तो वो ऐसा लगता है जैसे मजबूत बनना चाहता है या गुस्सा जताना चाहता है, लेकिन थोड़ा अभी क्षीण है,
फिजिकली नॉट बैलेंस।
जी जी
ऐसा।
और इसीलिए वो अपना शरीर बड़ा दिखाने के लिए उसने एड़ी उठाई हुई है, ताकि उसकी हाइट बड़ी दिखे।
राइट राइट, यू आर क्वाइट करेक्ट ओवर देयर, कि वो जो है वो उस चीज को पकड़ना चाह रहा है, हासिल करना चाह रहा है जो उसके शरीर में अभी नहीं है। तो वो अपनी क्षमता के ऊपर या बाहर या आगे या ऊंचे पर उसे प्राप्त करने की या जाहिर करने की कोशिश कर रहा है।
मैम आई एम सॉरी, बस एक लास्ट रिक्वेस्ट है, मैं चाहता हूँ आप ऐसे ही हर एक इमेज को बहुत आसान शब्दों में वो डिस्क्राइब करें।
ये तुम लोग यार नंदलाल दयाराम की कुंजी ढूंढ रहे हो। हमारे यहाँ 6-7 स्टैंडर्ड में हमारे जमाने के अंदर एक कुंजी नाम की चीज होती है, नंदलाल दयाराम का पब्लिकेशन। तो ये कुंजी मत ढूंढो, थोड़ा अभी जैसे अपना अपना इंटरप्रिटेशन आप बोल रहे हो ना, ये बहुत अच्छा है आप जो बोल रहे हो,
हाँ,
ये हिसाब से सोचो.
you were very close to what he himself has described. This, I think, this is this crookedness within this is very fascinating, and I just thought to be. Anyway, these can be sent to you, and you can look at them and find your own comments and observations. But this he has included in his own teaching, so I thought. हाँ, तभी
So अभी जो है almost we are 7:55, so there are 5 more minutes. So if you have a question, other students, they can ask any question, and then we will continue this, ma'am, tomorrow also. Not
and then I will try to do my whole object
Yeah.
also along
we'll
with
follow
it.
that later on, but let's finish tomorrow this thing, whatever is left over. So it's not in a hurry that there is an agenda to
Okay.
finish one person at one day and that's it. There is no agenda because they need to grasp more and more.
Yes, I think Michael Chekhov is a little different, so it takes time to tune into him.
Ma'am, am I audible?
हाँ बोलिए.
Ma'am, I hope इस बार मेरा आवाज ना कटे.
हाँ बोलिए.
But the crooked body that you showed me, like which has a slight tilt in the head, that reminds me of Daniel Day-Lewis playing in There Will Be Blood. उसका last scene where he's screaming, "I am the third revelation."
You said that, yeah. Yeah.
But ma'am, then you said that did he have the same feelings as Michael Chekhov has described it? But to be putting it directly, that the way Michael Chekhov described the image of the crooked person was way different from what he was feeling or what his feelings were when he was playing that particular scene.
Right. You see, the psychological gesture is a very personal creation of the actor.
Indeed.
And it could, how you are condensing the qualities of your character and embodying them in your body, it may take a different course in different actors. Now, your director is one person who can help you or suggest or correct, or your own trial with that gesture, as if it is giving you the correct intonation and the correct way of speaking, and is it carrying you through the play, carrying you through the different situations, tells you whether you are on the right track or not. Now, what that particular actor is trying to say by a particular posture is something that could vary from what it meant for Michael Chekhov. It is very much possible. Because, as I said, the archetypes, now these are all archetype characters. So the archetype characters are not too many. And when you build an archetype with your resources, there might be certain layerings. Now, it also might be that something may be different also. मतलब ये लग सकता है कि मोटा मोटा एक सा है, लेकिन डिटेल्स में कहीं कुछ फर्क हो सकता है, ये भी एक संभावना है. तो वो आप ध्यान से देखेंगे तो आप शायद वो अंतर भी अगर है तो ढूंढ पाएंगे. Otherwise, you could try to figure out that why then they are so similar. What could have led to them being so similar? That could be an interesting exercise. क्योंकि ना तो हम ये हैं और ना हम वो हैं, लेकिन हाँ हम दोनों से कुछ सीख सकते हैं. So if we compare and we see them similar, then it would be interesting also to figure out why they have turned out similar.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I would be interested in knowing that.
Me too.
वंदिता गांधी, आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं? वंदिता गांधी,
yes,
आपने हाथ उठाया हुआ है, कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं आप?
जी sir. My question is, without wonder and insight, acting is just a business. With it, it becomes creation. Can you comment on this? Can you guide me through this answer?
Vandita, I'll just interrupt in between. There are
Yeah.
certain questions which came in the past years. So
Yes.
maybe later on, once we finish with these major schools, then we will give her a certain number of questions which she will pick it up where she would like to comment upon. So I think that will make more sense rather than right now. Because right now we are having a wine party and you are serving the coffee in between or a tea in between. So the whole taste of wine would go away. So that is my request, that this question will be answered for sure. I promise in this forum. But let the flow continue because they are disconnected questions. Let you first understand various schools and then maybe at one particular school you will figure it out the answer of that yourself. If not, then we would make sure that some expert would answer. That is my request.
Okay, but the answers will be discussed in class, right?
Say again?
Answers will be definitely going to discuss, right?
Yeah, of course. So Siddhanta, you have a question?
So ma'am, I just wanted to ask the exercises that you have given us, like we can use it for a practical understanding. Like say there are few lines or few sayings or what Michael Chekhov is trying to say, which will be more easy to understand when we do it practically rather than theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, you can, when you are even reading, if you have, I'm sure you have some experience of acting. If you have even some experience of acting, even when you read through it, you can imagine those exercises
Exactly
happening and what they would be leading and how you can get an energy or a quality and then let it spread to the rest of your body. I mean, these are kind of things actors are somewhat familiar with in the whole role of sensation. So he is working through the physical and the imaginary and through the bridge being largely sensation. The sensation.
Like for example, ma'am, sorry, when it comes to the part of radiating, so it's kind of difficult to understand in words. But once we do it physically, we can understand it better. Like as you said, like you do an action, but after you sit down, people still feel that you are there, like you are sitting down there. So if we do it practically, we might be able to understand it more nicely or easily.
Yeah, and some of these exercises are fairly simple, and if some of our actors also practice them on their own also. That is also possible, like some of the playing with images or connecting imagine an action and then do a simple action, or you then make it more complex and then see if you can still imagine 5 steps and then execute 5 steps. So you can practice, these are all practical exercises.
Yeah.
Each one of them has a concept.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am, that's it.
So now the time is over for today, and tomorrow we will continue with the same, and whatever could be covered is fine. And then we'll move to the next school of thought process for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm launching this poll thing, guys, and those whosoever are still here, and they can just mark their attendance. That's very, very important for us because that shows your presence, and that's it. There are
Sir, I would like to say something.
Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah, so today's session was like I have entered an amusement park and it's so exciting and so productive and so new.
Yeah, that's for sure. But what I would comment that these are a very, is a zone. I didn't wanted to say when ma'am was talking about it. What I would say is that sorry. Let me just whatever. It's a different zone altogether. Like zone when you wanted to meditate. Now, when you want to meditate, it's very difficult. For example,
Yeah.
if you wanted to watch a film for 2 hours. In that 2 hour, your mind will divert. अरे मेरा तो parcel आने वाला है. अरे वो मैंने fees देनी है. अरे वो मेरा ये. In between, you will deviate 10 times. It has happened with me many times. So many years. So these are the concentration exercises. You will not understand the first go for sure. I would say 40, even if you get the 40%, it's okay. But you have to read that original text, and then you need to read the commentary done by various people. Okay? So until unless you read the original text and the commentary by other people, you will not understand. At the end of the day, you want to be an actor, and someday or other, if you get into FTI or don't get into FTI, you have to understand all these school of thoughts.
Okay.
Got my point? So I'm not hurrying it, and I'm not in that mindset of question answer. Like Vandita wanted to ask question answer. Some point or other question would be answered in a very, very specific way. Okay, but don't get into the question answer thing only. Question answer will be formulated out of the whole discussion when you listen to it again. Out of that, the question would be formulated. So if you have not understood the whole discourse, you will not be able to answer that. The way I mentioned about the train thing, it never stuck in my mind. Only when she pointed out that before something comes, it has an aura, and then it is gone. So I could connect the idea from my childhood that I was very curious where the hell is the train is there. There is a yellow signal. It's not there. Yellow is there. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
The curiosity behind it.
So curiosity is there. But train would come because now it is the yellow. It is left from the previous station. Now it is about to reach here, which will take time, which we don't understand as a child. We think now yellow is there, within 2 minutes train has to come. No.
Yeah.
We come 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. By that time, whatever the distant train has to cover. So there is a aura, there is an excitement, just because there is a yellow signal. So this example, I would not find into any book. When she was talking, all of a sudden it's stuck in my mind. So don't worry about the answers. Understand all that, whatever she's talking about. She's talking about the 30 years of experience. It's a very
exactly.
Like that, you can get some young people. Young people talk from 3-year experience, 4-year experience. But people who has a 30 years of teaching the same thing again and again, there's so many things in their mind. So make sure that you understand whatever is being discussed. You may get selected, you may not get selected in FTI, that is a secondary thing. But understanding these school of thought, 7-8 school of thought, I want her particularly to cover as much as she can. Then later on some other people would come, they would discuss something else. I have formulated certain questions. Previous year question would be discussed for sure. You would have a specific answer in some sense or other. But try to understand what she is talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surely.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Till tomorrow.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.